So a few months ago, I started a community called Earn Your First Dollar on School. And the idea was pretty simple. Help people get their first sale online. First get their first paying member, first bit of momentum, and nothing fancy. No funnels, no overthinking, just actually trying. But honestly, the reason I started it is it's kind of funny. I had reached out to this bigger community, like a school coaching type of thing, and I got rejected from even getting on the call because I didn't have thousands of dollars to buy in. And I remember the guy's name, and I remember thinking like, okay, fine, I'll just build my own version. And at first it was like a joke, but then I kind of thought I'm gonna stick it to the sales rep. But I watched this video from Alex Ramosi about why he partnered with school, and it just lit a fire inside of me, like that this idea could actually work. And I also think part of me just wanted to prove I could figure it out without needing a bunch of money or anyone's permission, because I didn't have thousands to spend on coaching or communities or anything like that. So I built this one, for people like me who just want to get their first sale without all the complicated stuff. And so who am I? And thanks for sticking this far. I'm Josh, and I'm basically just building this in public, while trying to help other people get their first real win. So like there's no guru stuff. I'm not a guru. No pretending I've got it all figured out. I'm just documenting what actually works and what doesn't. So let me tell you what happened after that rejection. And at first, I thought it would be like a course community or maybe a weekly challenge thing, something structured, something I could, kind of set and forget a bit. But I'm also not trying to be in calls all day or dependent on, constantly pushing content. But the beginning was slow, like really slow. We didn't even get momentum until the first 10 paying members, and before that it was just kind of me posting, a few people trying things, but not much action, and kind of awkward, I guess. And then something shifted. After we did our first dollar sprint, people actually started attempting things. Not just consuming, trying, posting, failing, adjusting. That part, it changed everything. And then I had this one moment that I still think about. One of my members made their first sale, and it was Tina. And it was nothing crazy, just a $7 sale. But I remember seeing it and just feeling this weird mix of like pride and emotion. Like, wow, it actually worked for someone. and and I got emotional about it because it wasn't theory anymore. It was real. And then later there was this other sale, Johanna, $170 yearly membership, and that one kind of changed how other people in the community thought about what was possible here. And it wasn't just me saying, "Oh, this works." It was someone actually doing it. And this is where things got interesting, because I had this post originally called "Fix My Offer," and nobody really responded to it. It just kind of sat there. Then after the one-on-one call with Johanna, I did what I did with her is that I used that same idea live during the call to help shape her offer. And so that's where things really started clicking. And that's now become what we call the offer hypothesis. And then something weird happened. People started asking for it, and not because I promoted it like really hard, but because other members saw like the clarity coming out of it. They saw me do it once, and then I started doing for a few other members too. Randomly, like for their communities. I jump in there and pull some stuff out, and we'd fix their messaging and figure out what actually they were selling. And that's kind of where the shift started for me, I think, because I thought the community was about, help people get their first sale. And it is. But now, I'm not sure that's exactly like the main thing anymore. Because right now I'm seeing something a little bit different. People don't really need more information, right? They don't need more courses or more steps or more strategy. They need clarity. They need feedback. They need momentum. They need someone to look at what they're doing and say, this is what's actually happening, and here's your next move. And I don't fully know if I'm right yet, doing everything correctly. It's all still an experiment, but it's what I'm seeing. So right now we've got around, I think, 28 members at the time of this recording. And I had just, gotten through a 16-day drought of new members. Then I got 5, and which has been amazing. So, that's just something that we still struggle with, right? And I think, the most honest way to say it is I thought I was building a first sale community. But now I think I might be actually building something closer to, a place where people get unstuck and actually move. I mean, I don't know yet, but I'm going to keep documenting it, all the wins, the failures, the weird patterns, all of it. And, I'm curious. So if you're a builder, if you're building something right now, what's been more important for you? Information or clarity? Let me know. I'm dying to know. So drop it in the comments, and we'll see each other soon. Bye.